you know, I've tried to record this several times, and I've tried to accurately describe exactly why I don't like it and why I do. But every time I go on and on and on and repeat myself, and well, I just don't know how to accurately describe, here's a bad thing, here's a thing that I don't like, here's a good thing, here's a thing that I do like. It's fine. And that's the conclusion that I keep coming to, and I keep repeating. It is Red Dead Redemption 2 is fine. It is not... I keep repeating this every time I talk about the damn game, but it is a fine game that isn't really a game. It's rather a Westworld fantasy. It is a wonderful realization of the Wild West in all its despicable and horrible, ugly glory of... Well, not all its glory. There's some of its glory that has been covered up, such as strong racisms and other such things, such as very, very, very strong sexism, misogyny, and many other things. Anyway, let's not focus on things that don't happen in the game, even though they would be more realistic, even though people want to yell, oh, it's so realistic. It's not. It's just a bit of fantasy realized in a game that is pretentious. And I think that is what I really don't like. The pretension, the longevity of every single thing to make it a little bit more aggravating. The story goes on forever and a lifetime. And I know, yes, Rockstar games tend to do that. The story goes on for a little bit too long and extenuates itself. Extenuates? No. It just goes on forever. And then it finally ends. That's par for the course with Rockstar. It's not a company that's known for doing well-told stories. Even though I do think they paced Grand Theft Auto 5 quite well with the three protagonists, somewhat antagonists. But nonetheless, the game of Red Dead Redemption 2 is meh. Well, it's that. It's just meh. As I've said, it's beautiful and gorgeous and magical and, well, it's Westworld. That is what it is to me. It's fairly well established that I don't care for the realism and I don't care for any other bit, but I do enjoy the fantasy of dropping into a world that I don't inhabit. I don't inhabit a world where I can go out and hunt something, or I can go out and shoot someone in the head. I'm not going to do that, both morally and, well, you're not supposed to. Turns out murder's a bad thing. Who knew? What I do enjoy the most out of everything that Red Dead Redemption 2 offers, and there is quite a lot because, well, staff on the game worked on it 100 hours a week. This is what I keep repeating also, is the fact that Rockstar had questionable practices to make the game, and I really don't like that. I don't like promoting something that's just blech, and also something that's morally abhorrent. It's just meh and abhorrent. Though we'll ignore that along with the other abhorrent mess that is the, bits that are missing and would make it more realistic, even though people want to say, oh, it's so realistic, and it's really not. It's just a bit of fantasy and such and so on. Every single thing that you do in Red Dead Redemption is long. It is arduous just to pick something up. Picking up a can of peas. You do that individually. You pick up every can. Now, I don't know about you, but I've played games where I have not picked up cans individually, and I have enjoyed them. Enjoyed them more, in fact. I've enjoyed them greatly. I don't care if I don't pick up every can individually. I don't care if it's a sphere on the floor that says, oh, look, pick up me. Just run over me and it picks up. That's fine in Yakuza. That's fine in, I don't know, Spider-Man. It's fine in Far Cry. It's fine in all of these games. But because the game is pretentious and tries to why am I using extenuate? Nonetheless, because it tries to extend itself out for 100 hours, a Rockstar work week, it just becomes rather dull. I think the story in small bursts is fine. It's not a blockbuster. It's the Academy Awards. That's what it is. It is the Academy Awards awarding something dull with another bunch of white people doing absolutely nothing interesting, while there's something fantastic and wonderful out there with people of colour that is actually saying something, that is doing something maybe not important, maybe something just fun, but it is doing something. It is doing something other than, oh, Mr. Darcy, I love you. I would rather watch paint dry. I just don't care. In small bursts, it's fine. I think it's stupid. I think the story itself, though I won't spoil it, even though you're watching the final chapter, or it's fine. It's dull, but fine. It is stupid in many respects because, well, it's the Rockstar plot. It's the typical, let's go do something, fail, and then try to do it again somewhere else. That's all Rockstar does. It's, let's go make money, let's fail, let's do that again, let's fail again, let's do... And I'm fine with that, but the game tries desperately, and I do mean desperately, to make you enjoy characters, think highly of them, hate others, and so on and so forth. And it would be fine if you weren't expecting Rockstar to do its usual thing. Some of that is still here, some of it is still apparent, but at the same time, quite a bit of it is missing where it would normally make sense. There's just not that larger, here is something that you can notice, here's something that's strong and overly satirized. You know, the usual Rockstar thing. It is just drama. That's all Red Dead Redemption 2 is. It's drama, it's crime, and then on the side, there may be some bits with men dressed as women, and there might be a person called Margaret who has a moustache and ran away from the military, and spoilers. It's fine. That's what I keep coming back to. It's fine. And when it is doing all that boring guff, you start thinking, right, why am I doing this? Why am I actually doing the main plot? Why am I doing any of this boring guff when I could go out and do any of the Westworld stuff, any of the fun open world stuff. And that's where I think the fun comes from. That's where I think the good parts of Red Dead Redemption 2 come from. Yes, I don't like searching bodies because that takes forever and a lifetime, and I don't like picking up cans of peas individually, but I do think hunting is fun. I do think all these other little bits of interacting with people or having little conversations with the eugenics man in Saint Denis, I think all that's fun. I think it's fun to tie that man up and throw him on the train tracks. I think it's fun to stand 3 miles from a deer and pop it in the back of the head. Yes, I do know that vegans will instantly be appalled by that idea, but would you rather I spoke about the degloving of rabbits, where you hunt down a rabbit and pop it in the back of the head with a vermin rifle or possibly a bow and arrow, and then pick it up, put your fingers in its asshole, and pull. And it just comes off like a glove. That's all it does. It's brilliant. It's endlessly hilarious showing that to someone and they go, "Sweet Jesus, that is hilarious." But vegans will go, "Oh, but it's morally abhorrent." It's a video game. It's a bloody video game. It's fine. I think all of that is fine. I think the moments where you come across a random event is one of the best things that Rockstar can do. It does that well. It does you've come across something that happens in the world. Therefore, deal with it however you may. A great example, I was hunting down a rabbit in the middle of the night, and of course, hunting is a solemn thing to do. So my horse was miles, well, not miles, but a bit behind. So I, degloved the rabbit, and so on and so forth. And then suddenly I heard something in the distance. Looked over there, saw some fire in the woods. I thought, oh, I'll have a little peek over there. It was all innocent, crawled up to it, noticed that it was a cross on fire. I thought, okay, quickly I'm going back to my horse because, and this is what really annoys a lot of people with the game, your horse steals all your long guns. Everything that you have, all the weaponry, all the guff that you have is stored on your horse. Yes, it's realistic. Yes, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's more realistic than having an arse TARDIS up you, but your horse does have an arse TARDIS of its own, where it stores all the long guns instead of you. Why does that happen? Because it's realism. Is it realism? Is it realism to have 12 guns on a single horse? No. But realism, well, up your realism. I don't care about it. Nonetheless, I went to my horse, picked up all the guns, picked up some extra bits, knives, TNT, all the stuff, fire bottles, all the good stuff. Got the guns out, went back to the woods, had a little listen of the policemen, politicians, usual KKK members, and just watched them, have their meeting. Nothing too wrong with that, just listening to them describe what they're going to do to men of colour and women of colour and so on and so forth. So they did their little meeting, handed out biscuits individually, all that normal boring guff that you do at meetings, and then flick through Hello Magazine going, oh look, a celebrity's thin now. I don't know what I'm going to do with that for my daily life. That doesn't affect me, but nonetheless, a celebrity's thin now. Good for them, I think. Anyway, on to the meeting, saw them, and well, I threw in some TNT, which knocked over the cross that was, of course, still on fire. That fell down, set fire to most of the grass, most of the men, and several horses, as well as their carts. And while some men were burning, the men that lost their head, literally, and their bed sheets with holes in the middle, sadly they weren't prancing about the woods going, ooh, ooh, you know. That would have been fine. I wouldn't have blown them up then. But no, they had to do the racisms. They're mild racisms, really. It's just, we don't like these people. Oh, why? Oh, these people. And, you know, so while I was ripping bits off of men with no heads, men with their bodies on fire, screaming for help, I just, you know, ignored them, let them burn out, you know, screaming in horror, you know, as you do. And then, you know, moved on to them, stabbed the horse, de-skinned them. And I didn't get any bad karma for that. I didn't get anything bad about that. I bet you regret being upset at the degloving comment now, don't you? Oh well.
Just as I thought.
Here.